to Fraser Park Sportsville here in Lower Hutt, where it is day 5 of the 2024 Softball New Zealand presentation of the National Club Championships. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, day 5. That means it's finals day. In front of us today, we've got a major semi-final between Ramblers from Auckland and Papanui from Christchurch. These two teams made their way here by way of Ramblers lost last night to Parkland's Christchurch United, who will be meeting one of these teams in the grand final, and Papanui's win over Auckland United. Hi, I'm Gary Rohihi for Ballpark Broadcasting. I'll bring you all the play-by-play commentary in this one. Should be an exciting ball game. We've had 5 days of absolutely unbelievable softball here at Fraser Park. We've got an absolutely beautiful day, blue sky, light winds, and two incredible teams out there about to go at each other. Joining me in colour commentary will be none other than Jason Gerbes, aka Chopper, and to call and add his expert commentary on this ball game. Chopper, welcome along. Great to have you beside me.
Yeah, kia ora, Gaz. Great to be with you here on Championship Sunday. Fantastic day ahead of us. Of course, we're down to 3 from 20. Big teams that have come across from the country. And it'll be Papanui, as you mentioned, taking on the defending champions, Mount Albert Ramblers.
Well, of course it is, and just looking at the two teams out there, we'll quickly run you through their lineups. We'll start with the batting lineup for Mount Albert Ramblers. Lead-off hitter for them, Brock Evans, followed by none other than Nathan Nuku. Cole Evans, the Black Sox captain, then Lewis Gerard, Reese Evans, Bradley Bennett, Max Early, and Maddox Rice, and rounding out their order is Oscar Clark. Defensively out there for Papanui, we have right field Josh Glading, Josh Dixon, and Josh Lubowiski, all the Joshes in the outfield for Papanui. Mitchell Finney at shortstop, third base Tyron Bartarillo, Caleb Stewart at second, first base is Callum Bishop, Marshall Cronk doing the pitching to Anthony Stewart behind the dish. Two very, very powerful lineups, and with the first ball about to be pitched, there it is, it's a ball low in the zone to the leadoff hitter for Ramblers in this one. Just a little bit of tweaking in their order, Chopper. Brock Evans coming in to do the leadoff. Yeah,
well, we're seeing Brock Evans being one of the top hitters this week here at the National Championship and elevated to the top of the order, rightly so.
There we go. I just attempted to stand up and lost my microphone, but a little bit excited. I'm going to need to stand for this one. So there we go, and it is Brock Evans, of course, doing the lead-off hitting for Ramblers, and he has had an absolute tip-top tournament. Ramblers, to most of our minds, have been the favourites all the way through, and then last night, in a stunning upset, I suppose you would call it, but that Parkland's Christchurch United team did an absolute complete job on them to shut them out and win the game 2-1.
Yeah, they sure did, on the back of Liam Potts, the left-hander, getting them straight through to the grand final with that victory last night. Mount Albert Ramblers, though, we've seen a different team for them as we see the strikeout of Evans. A different team for them yesterday. We're going to get tested by, of course, the team from Papanui we see today in the 11 innings, and then PCU, the other Christchurch side, get the wood over them.
Well, Papanui, they made their way here with the loss to, of course, Auckland United, probably in the middle of the night last night as we did the semi-final last night. That didn't finish until about 8:30, and now we've got Nathan Nuku up to bat for Mount Albert Ramblers. He needs no introduction to anyone out there, and really is and underlines, Mount Albert's feeling about this game and how they need that he would put himself in to start the ball game.
Sure is indeed, and a big change. Nathan Nuku's coming for, I think, 2 or 3 pinch hits throughout the tournament. One of those an intentional walk, so really probably is only his 3rd at-bat of the tournament. But he realises right now, after yesterday's tough 2 games, he needs to be in the lineup, and he's hitting 2 today.
Yeah, well, that first hit that he brought himself in was, funny enough, one swing, a line drive out to centre field fence and scored 2 RBIs. So you can't keep a guy like that out of the ball game, whether he's running the cutter as coach or whether he's a player. And I'm sure he'll be doing both today.
Arguably one of the most decorated New Zealand representatives is Nathan Nukunuku. He's won everything, all of the age groups.
Papanui, by contrast, as we see Marshall Cronk asking if Nathan Nukunuku swung at that one and earns himself a walk down to first base. Early signs of danger for Papanui as Ramblers managed to get a runner on the base. They changed that runner for their DR, which is number 18, Blake Wardrobe. Plenty of speed out there now. Papanui, by contrast, in the last few years have been ever the bridesmaid. They've been knocking on the door. We remain to be seen whether they've got what it needs to win this year yet, of course. Waiting for one of these teams in the grand final is Parkland's Christchurch United. Papanui are the champions in Christchurch, but PCU have managed to make their way into the grand final in what will, for some people, be somewhat of an upset. And there we go. We see the out there taken by Papanui for the third out here in the top of the first innings.
Yeah, hot shot. That's what they call it, the hot corner. Tyrone Bardarello snabbles that one over in time to nullify any threat from Mount Albert Ramblers here on the top of the first innings.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. The top of the first is finished. We'll come back in just a minute with more action from Diamond 1.
Jack Links presents Messin' with Sasquatch.
Watch this.
Don't mess with other snacks. Choose Jack Links jerky made with 100% beef.
Well, welcome back to Sorensen Field here at Fraser Park, Sportsville. We've got semi-final time here at the 2024 National Open Club Championships. Ramblers, Mount Albert Ramblers from Auckland taking on Papanui from Christchurch. We'll quickly run you through the orders in reverse. Papanui's batting lineup: Josh Lubowiski, the leadoff, followed by Jackson Watt, Bardarillo, Cronk and Finney. Callum Bishop comes in after that. Josh Dixon, Anthony Stewart, and rounding out their order is Caleb Stewart. Defensively out there for Ramblers at right field: Oscar Clark, Maddox Rice and Bradley Bennett complete the outfield triumvirate. Cole Evans at shortstop, Reese Evans in the hot corner, Brock Evans at second base, Lewis Gerard at first base. Nick Hayes doing the pitching to Max Early. We've been talking about the return of Nick Hayes to New Zealand softball chopper, and what a pleasure it is to see a picture of his international quality back playing domestically in New Zealand.
It sure is, Gaz, and as we look at Nick Hayes here today, we've seen him so much this year. Not only is he playing here in the National Championships, you see the scorer from from Papanui, Joe Harris, on screen there. But he's come over so many times, I think, collectively throughout the season, at least 10 or 12 trips across the ditch. He resides in the Gold Coast these days. He wants to play for the Black Sox again. He's putting his best foot forward.
And they're going to need a picture of that quality as well to bolster their ranks as they look to get back towards the top of the heap in world softball. And I'm sure there's plenty of players in both of these teams that will feature in the selectors' minds as they look at this game. They've been here throughout this entire tournament. 20 teams have been going at it over the last 5 days in what has been an absolutely amazing tournament for our country and a great advertisement for the sport. Nick Hayes sits down Josh Lubowiski to strike out here in the bottom of the first innings. Bringing the bat, number 22, Jackson Watt. It was an absolute highlight in the game yesterday, the 11-inning thriller between Ramblers and Papanui. One of the great games of softball that I've had the privilege of calling.
Beautiful day here locally, as you can see on screen there. Hardly a cloud in the sky. 15 degrees Celsius, heading for a high of 19 today. Believe it or not, not a breath of wind.
Well, usually you just have to wait about 15 minutes and things will change.
Gaz.
But I'm a Wellingtonian, so I can diss our weather. It's the ones that come from out of town chop that are not allowed to. Nick Hayes it is, who rears back to fire another pitch down. This time it's Jackson Watt staring down in the batter's box. And it is called a ball, down and out.
2-1.
There's something special about Championship Sunday, as we talked a little bit as our crew meeting this morning. All of these teams, 20 teams came to Fraser Park this week for this 5-day tournament with one common goal, to be national champion. We're down to 3. It's great to just watch these athletes searching to find successfully that goal at the end of the hill.
Oh, yeah, and I firmly believe we've got the 3 best teams in the tournament, at the sharp end of the tournament. They've played high-quality ball all the way through. They've pushed aside, if you like, all the other teams on their way through. Ramblers in particular, up until their loss yesterday, had been very impressive, and Mercy, run-ahead rule on most of their opposition. As we see this time, Nick Hayes fires one through the inside of the plate to strike out Jackson Watt to become the second out here in the bottom of the first innings. Number 46, another player from Papanui, Tyrone Bartarillo, doesn't really need an introduction. Everybody knows what this chap is capable of.
Outstanding athlete, veteran these days is Bartarillo.
Bartarillo steers back, watches the pitch. He's hit it out to second base. Picks it up out there, does Brock Evans. Fires it into Lewis Gerard. 3 up and 3 down for Ramblers here in the first innings. Goes by in the blink of an eye. They head to the dugout. The score, 0-0. We'll be back to find out what happens in just a minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. There, the pictures tell 1,000 words in front of you. It is an absolute beautiful morning here at Fraser Park, Sportsville, where we are at the pointy end of the tournament. We've got a grand semi-final in front of us right now between Papanui from Christchurch, Mount Albert Ramblers from Auckland. 1 innings complete and no score in it, as we've come to expect with games at this end of the tournament to start with a very tight affair. Up to bat for Mount Albert Ramblers is number 88, Lewis Gerard. Lewis has been in one of the power spots for Mount Albert Ramblers throughout the tournament and has been doing a fantastic job.
Well, we saw him just a couple of days ago with loaded bases, blasted one. I don't even think it's landed yet. Lewis Gerard in a good patch of form.
He sure is. He helped himself to a grand slam, and is really one of the features of what is a deep batting lineup for Mount Albert Ramblers. Out there, the other team in blue, the umpires, we'll just quickly run through them. Home plate.
We've got a good one, Gaz. We've got a couple of visitors from overseas. Jeremy England from Wellington here. Richard Dodds on screen. He's all the way from Melbourne, Australia. Frank Foggy at first base officiating today. He's from Winnipeg, Canada. And good old Whanganui's Lance Brown behind the dish.
Yeah, definite international flavour to the umpiring out there. All 4 umpires, international quality, and ready to direct these players in what should be an absolutely amazing game of softball. Marshall Cronk out there doing the pitching for Papanui. Of course, a member of the Australian Steelers, the world champion squad, has emerged as a real force in world softball.
Haven't they? They really have come on outstandingly.
Marshall Cronk, one of the players in Papanui, he really is a utility. He's a world-class pitcher. He's a world-class batter and can field out there on the first base or in the outfield. So if you call it a toolbox, he's got all the tools and they're all in his toolbox. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Lewis Gerard. Steers back at Marshall Cronk, who fires one in, pulls the strings on it, takes the pace, and it's fouled back over the net.
Well, Marshall Cronk, what type of pitcher is he? He comes out of Queensland, Australia. Does Cronk, and he broke onto the scene as a young fella, then kind of went missing for a few years, and then a couple of years ago, boy, didn't he explode on the international scene. MVP at the ISCs in North America, MVP at the ISFs as well, World Cup.
There we go. It's hit back to Marshall Cronk. He fields it calmly and dishes it to first base for the first out. Lewis Gerard heads back to the dugout. He'll get replaced by number 28, Reese Evans.
Reese Evans has been having himself a tournament. Simply outstanding. As Reese 3 bombs this week, he's found the middle of the bat.
Yeah, Reese Evans, one of the Evans triumvirate in the Ramblers team. The 3 brothers in there. And, of course, Cole Evans and Brock Evans. All in this Mount Albert Ramblers lineup. Mount Albert Ramblers, something they're not used to yesterday, going down to PCU in the semi-final last night. But this is a quality side from 1 to 9. Depth on the bench, depth on the mound. It's going to be a difficult task for Papanui.
Oh, without a doubt, but remember, of course, Papanui, they've been right at the top of the shop for the last 6 years. 8 titles in Canterbury, counting for Papanui in a row.
There's a long shot down the left field, and it is called safe. Was that foul? Get those arms up a little bit straighter, Jeremy. He's called it a foul.
Gazer, I think if you look at that, it's the beginning of that famous song, my friend. See, hard hit ball from Evans, 3 home runs this week, looking for his 4th here in the semi-final, and just shades the foul pole line. And Jeremy England, he has the first lyric of that famous song. It is the YMCA, my friend. It's a foul ball.
Got his arms up there.
There you go. Nathan's like, is it Y or is it M or is it the C or the A?
Jeremy had a good look at it before he adjudged it to be foul. Nathan's had a long talk to Lance and Jeremy. The upshot of it is Reese Evans still in the batter's box after that. Hard hit ball down the third base line. Flirted with fair territory, but adjudged to be foul. Well, there you go. Reese Evans, who has been hitting the ball hard all week, goes hard at that. Marshall Cronk rearing back to go again at him. Marshall Cronk's come into the Papanui lineup for the injured Ben Watts, who of course has been the spearhead of the pitching stakes. This time it's gone off field, out to the right, it's gone deep. It hits the fence on the full. Fielded now as he rounds 1, and he is safe at 2.
Oh, that's the sign of a class hitter, isn't it, Gaz? Drives one, pulls one left field, almost a home run. Then goes right field to the fence on the full. He's got the wagon wheel offense going right now.
He sure has. He's been replaced in the batter's box by number 44, Bradley Bennett. And the plan, obviously, to go hard at the offense from Papanui early with Reese Evans, showing that there's nowhere in the strike zone you can put a pitch to him that he can't get to. DR replaces Reese Evans out there. Blake Wardrobe will probably spend more time on the bases than any of the other Ramblers players in this ball game.
Not for long, though. He is quick and he's slick as a designated runner, Wardrobe.
Bradley Bennett, number 44, it is up to bat for Mount Albert Ramblers, who bat deep. They go 1 to 9.
Bradley Bennett with an intention right there on the first pitch, didn't he?
Swings hard at a rising delivery from Cronk. Papanui with the experience of Ant Stewart as we see Bennett turn to bunt. This time and the steal is on. And now some real danger signs for Papanui. Wardrope over at third base. It's only one down. Bennett into bat.
The real interesting thing too, Gaz, with this Mount Albert Ramblers side, normally you have the head coach in the third base coach's box. But look at the bottom of the screen there, number 12. There's Nathan Nukunuku. Because he's on the side of the dugout, he will coach from that side.
Yes, because we're used to seeing him down there by the third base dugout, making all the calls from wherever he's needed to make them. You'll even see him signalling from the batter's box if he's got runners in motion. But this time it's Bradley Bennett steering back at Cronk, who rears back to fire in another pitch. There it comes. It's outside. It's gone back to the net, and that's going to score the first run here in the semi-final. There's a pass ball. Anthony Stewart was on that one quick, but not quick enough to stop the runner from scoring.
A mislocation here as Stewart sets inside. Drop ball goes outside. No chance to gather it. No chance to stop Mount Albert Ramblers scoring the first run here in the semi-final.
Well, there's still only one down, and Bradley Bennett's still in the batter's box. It's now 1-0 to Mount Albert Ramblers. And as we've seen with these top four teams going at each other, the scores are low. It was a 2-1 ball game last night. It was a 5-4 ball game in the 11-inning thriller.
Gaz, Mount Albert Ramblers, I get a chance to spend a bit of time with them, of course, in the Auckland region. They train a couple of times a week, an hour and a half. Out of that hour and a half, they spend 1 hour and 25 minutes on batting.
Well, it definitely shows at tournament play. It probably also shows at club level where they are the current Auckland champions and have been for a number of years. I think streak was broken by AU a few years ago, but you know if you beat these guys in a tournament or in a club championship that you've earned it.
Yeah, well, the strategy from Nathan Nukunuku around the focus on offense is that you just need reps. You need to see at least a couple of thousand pitches, so you can recognise the one that you do want to hit, and that's the key to their offense. They don't want to swing at anything outside the zone.
There we go. They do have a tendency to take pitches deep into counts. That's absolutely right. Bradley Bennett's another one doing it right now. An 0-2 pitch. Oh, and this time he pulls the strings on it, does Cronk. He gets the job done. Strikes out Bradley Bennett for the second out here in the top of the second innings. It's going to be replaced by number 2, Max Early, the catcher for Mount Albert Ramblers.
Interesting last pitch there, Gaz. This is a pitch I've never seen from Marshall Cronk. That was a lifter change-up. Interesting. Something new from Marshall Cronk here.
Well, I've seen a lot of him through the week, and he will use several variations on that change-up, including a drop on the inside. So he possesses, most pitchers probably possess 3, possibly 4 strong pitches. I think you'll find Marshall Cronk will show you 5 or 6.
That last pitch he threw there is the reason, if you ask me, why he has risen and exploded on the international scene in the last couple of 3 years. And it's the rise ball that cuts in on the hands.
It's a pitch that's being used more and more, and we're also seeing that. And that's a bang-bang play out there at first. This time it's Max Early who goes out at 1. You're going to see it on the...
You just see there, I don't know if you noticed, that's that rise ball on the hands. And so it's not just throwing at their hands, but he's able to make a tail into the right-hander, and that therefore restricts their stroke, and that's how he got that easy ground out.
Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Mount Albert Ramblers it is, who are now 1-0 up here in the top of the second innings. We'll head to the bottom of the second innings when we come back in just a minute. Welcome back, ladies. We've got a good sprinkling of spectators here for the 2024 National Odd Club Open Championships at Fraser Park, Sportsville, Sorensen Field, Diamond 1 action. Ramblers. Mount Albert Ramblers from Auckland taking on Papanui from Christchurch. They lead the ball game here in the bottom of the second innings. We're still in the early stanzas of this game. And 1-0 Mount Albert Ramblers over Papanui.
We'll just see a bit of time here as Cronk, the pitcher, is going to be the lead-off hitter here to get himself ready. But Mount Albert Ramblers, they'll be happy with that start, Gaz, picking that first run in the top of the second innings.
So often at this level, it's an error. That is the cost, and that's what we saw. The pitcher missed his mark. The catcher was unable to handle it, and it was the runner from third base that scampered across 60 feet for the run for Mount Albert Ramblers. Marshall Cronk, it is up to bat now, and you know he's going up against a world-class pitcher, but he could show us exactly why he is such a valuable member of any team he's in, because he is a world-class batter.
He sure is indeed. Gaz debuted at the New Zealand Open Men's Club National Championships last year at Rosedale Ballpark. He won't mind me saying this. He won't mind me saying this, but his performance in his debut Club National Championship wasn't up to his normal standard. So a chance for him to come back a second year in a row, and he's showing better form here this week.
Well, there we go. It's Nick Hayes being very respectful of his strike zone. It's a 3-0 pitch. Goes right through the middle of the zone for a strike.
Like the way Nick started the game here today, Gaz, hitting both sides of the plate, nice and calm on the hill. He knows it's all up for grabs, though.
Well, of course, he's a bit of an Iron Man, Nick Hayes. We all know how fit he is as he walks Marshall Cronk to first base. That'll bring the bat. Number 11, Mitchell Finney. Tall, lean, very quick Mitchell Finney. He's an athlete, but he can hit the ball very hard as well. It was Nick Hayes in the 11-inning game yesterday against Papanui who pitched all 11 innings. So I'd say maybe the team masseur might have been busy last night ironing out a few of those sore muscles. He's popped it up, and it's Nick Hayes who calls the fielders off and takes the catch. Marshall Cronk remains at 1. Mitchell Finney's the first out. Up to bat, number 47, Callum Bishop.
One other thing I noticed with Nick Hayes, he's found himself very comfortable with Mount Albert Ramblers this season. Seen a lot of smiles from him, a lot of calmness, a lot of humour.
Yeah, I mean, he tends to... Well, I don't know Nick personally, but when you look at the guy, he looks like he's an intense chap a lot of the time. And a lot of the times, people who have that sort of intense focus need to be kept calm. Nathan Nukanuku must be doing a good job.
Callum Bishop.
This time it is, number 47, Callum Bishop.
He's an outstanding athlete, as you see Carl McElroy, the head coach for Papanui, on screen. Bishop, his rise within the ranks of elite players in the country started about 4 years ago. Always played first base.
2 ball, 1 strike.
Did you see the communication between early and home plate umpire Brown there? Making sure they're on the same page. But he's turned into an elite hitter these days.
Sure has. He's been in and around the Black Sox squad for 2 or 3 of those 4 years, and his rise to the top. As you see Max Early get the job done out there at second base. We'll get another look at that.
So Fletcher Dew takes off, then looks back, and he knows he's stone cold Steve Austin. I think just a missed signal for the designated runner Dew.
2 down now. No one on base. So it's all up to Callum Bishop, who watches a pitch from Nick Hayes. Absolutely cut the outside edge of the corner of the plate.
Richard Dodds, the visiting umpire from Australia. And there you go, Bishop steadies the ship.
Nice job by Callum Bishop to earn the walk. Heads down to first base. He'll be replaced by number 4, Josh Dixon. Another one of the Canterbury team Canterbury team that has been around representative softball for a number of years now.
Yeah, well, as you know, Gaz, we've seen Dixon be the lead-off batter for Papanui for so many years now. Finds himself in the meat of the order with power.
Definitely a utility player as he swings at a hard pitch from Nick Hayes. You hear that crack of leather on leather. That's the sound we all love in our sport.
Had a bit of a chuckle with Dixon before the match early this morning while we were setting up. And he was outside the dugout winding his arm over. And I'm like, warm it up. He goes, yeah, Chop, I'm coming in.
Hey, what's wrong with that? You know, as a pitcher myself, we want everyone to want to pitch out there, you know.
Dreams.
Sometimes there's plenty of guys who've been fielders all their life. You think they know what a pitcher goes through.
Just on that, you mentioned earlier about Ben Watts, who's really steadied this Papanui ship from the pitching circle over the last wee while, to be fair, 8 or 9 years with this side. And just throw thoughts out to him. Of course, succumbed to a bicep injury. Hope his recovery goes well there in Christchurch.
We certainly do. He's a valuable member of Papanui, Canterbury and New Zealand softball. There we go. It's a strikeout for Nick Hayes. Josh Dixon heads back to the dugout as the third out here in the bottom of the second innings. 2 have gone by in the blink of an eye. We'll head back to the third innings after a few messages. We'll be back in a minute.
The decisions we make matter. The cloth you put on your back, that comes from somewhere. Ours is Ecotech, and it comes from here. One of these equals 38 of these, not in landfill. High performance fabric worthy of what you stand for.
Sportsville, there's a shot of the beautiful hills surrounding Fraser Park, Sportsville here, nestled in the heart of Lower Hutt. Bright sunshine today, light breeze, temperatures on the rise. It's a perfect day for softball here in the 2024 National Open Club Championship. Semi-final time out there. One of these teams will earn the right to go to the grand final. Papanui from Christchurch taking on Mount Albert Ramblers. One pitch, one swing. Maddox Rice heads to the dugout as that catch is taken out there by right fielder Josh Gladding. First base in the end.
Pitcher's best friend, one pitch, one out for sure to get underway here. Yep. Of course, awaiting the winner of this one at 1:30 today in the grand final, PCU Devils. Well,
tell us a little bit about that team, Chopper, because they have played some high-quality ball all the way through the tournament.
They sure have been outstanding to watch this week. Liam Potts, left-handed hurler on there, led by their ever-inspirational coach, Jason Kumaroa, a.k.a. JK.
And this time it's the bunt that's dropped down. It bounces back up. He's made his way down to first base.
Yeah, that's fine, that's fine. Team, come in.
We're just going to check here, maybe a double hit. Let's see if you can see you there on the replay. It's close.
With the runner running into the ball? No. You haven't got it?
I haven't seen it. I have on him.
Okay. Guys, we haven't got it.
You can see in the replay there, Gaz, doesn't look like the ball took a deviation as the bounce started to go, went past his shirt.
We haven't got it.
And so he's gone out there and he's checked with his fellow umpires. I think they've got the right call.
I think they have. They consulted. The other 3 umpires present said they didn't have any contact on the ball. And as you say, no deviation. So this time it's Oscar Clark, safe at first base. They go to the top of their shop now. And this is an ideal way for them to get underway, Chopper. Number 21, Brock Evans up to bat, their lead-off hitter.
Well, Oscar Clark's been the lead-off hitter all week up until now. So getting him on first here in the third innings.
This time it's a moonshot. It's gone high towards left field. He's gotten under it early and makes no mistake about the catch. Gets the ball in the air. Quick smart to stop any thoughts of the runner advancing.
Yeah, that's the key to the left fielder there, Lubowiski. Make sure he throws it in quickly in time. You have to be quick too, because Oscar Clark is lightning fast on the base path.
It's been a highlight for me of the whole tournament is some of the speed of some of these athletes around the diamond. You know, they're doing 3 seconds there for 60 feet. Some of the faster guys in the team, which in the context of a game of softball is travelling. Marshall Cronk continues to go to work out there for Papanui. Papanui, just like the other 3 teams in the semi-finals or in the top 4, a very well-drilled unit. This time it's the steal that's on, and Oscar Clark shows us just how fit some of these guys are as he beats out the throw of Anthony Stewart.
We see here it's a hit and run play, just too high for Nukunuku to get to, but the pace of Clark, it's a win-win here for Ramblers.
Yeah, Nathan Nukunuku's already done a job out there by moving that runner. Now it's just up to him to get some contact on the ball. And he swings hard, and Marshall Cronk manages to strike him out with that tailing rise ball that Chopper talked about. So that's 3 down. No impact, further impact on the scoreboard. We finished the top of the 3rd innings. We'll be back with more action in just a minute.
Your world, your colour, your choice with Racine.
Sportsville Diamond 1 action. Papanui taking on Mount Alba Ramblers. We're in the bottom of the 3rd innings in this game, which is proving to be every bit as tight as we expected it to be. It is Mount Alba Ramblers 1-0 up over Papanui. It's Ant Stewart, one of the veterans of Canterbury softball, number 10, up to bat.
One out. Come on now, let's go. Let's go.
Good control by home plate umpire Lance Brown there, making sure that they know he's got the strike zone for them. Let's keep on moving.
Most of the umpires throughout the tournament. There's a hit. This time it's gone out to third base. It is fielded out there at third base by Reese Evans. Fired across the diamond. Anthony Stewart, the first out. Here in the bottom of the 3rd innings.
We see that pitch right and tight and on the hands. Nothing Stewart can do with it but to just pull it weakly to the left side. Interesting, straight after that pitch, Lance Brown walks out towards the pitcher and the catcher says, that was right there. So he's still communicating with him.
Yeah, what I was going to say is most of the home plate Blues have had good dialogues going, especially with the catchers. Obviously, it's the catcher's job to communicate with the Blue, make sure they're on the same page. And in this case, Lance Brown, definitely a good communicator. Inside pitch once again. Nick Hayes will live there if you let him. So they're going to have to find a way of combating that. Up to bat from the bottom of the order, number 17. It's Caleb Stewart who strikes out for the 2nd out. And Nick Hayes wastes no time on that one. Number 77, Josh Lubowiski, top of the order for Papanui. Comes into bat. I saw him hit an absolutely enormous home run 2 nights ago from Diamond 2. It's another one, I think, Chopper, that's rotating the planet, but it just seemed to go forever.
Well, there's something I thought which is probably the right time to start doing here for Papanui. No hits on the scorecard so far for Papanui. Nick Hayes has got it on a string. Carl McElroy, the head coach, got to change offensive strategy. A running bunt, good play in my mind.
Yeah, it's a strategy we've seen JK for Parklands Christchurch United. They use the short game, that team, extremely effectively, and it's a tactic that, you're right, they have to go to. Josh Lubowiski, otherwise you're just letting things drift along. You need to force something to happen.
Game is moving super quick here, already in the bottom of the third innings.
That one right through the middle. Lubowiski watches it goes past. And Nick Hayes, watch out, he's beginning to dominate the Papanui batters. 3 down, 3 complete. We'll be back in just a minute.
When the radio's on and the sound is hot, you just have to enjoy. There's no way to stop. That's where it sounds like the best every day of the week. Better than all the rest. We let the music speak. All the best throwbacks, 90s and more. Atiawa Toa. All the best throwbacks.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes you just got to let the pitchers do the talking. There's the other teams out there warming up, getting ready to go for their games. We've got Diamond 1 action here in Sorensen Field, and what a game we've got developing in front of us. It's Papanui now beginning to try everything they can to claw back this 1-run lead that Mount Albert Ramblers enjoy over them. Here in the semi-final, the winner of this one, of course, will make their way to the big show and get to mix it with Parklands Christchurch United, who are waiting for them in the grand final. Up to bat, it's number 34, Cole Evans. I don't need to tell you for the 100th time that he's the Black Sox captain, but Cole also batting extremely well in this tournament.
Sure is. Comes into day 5, 8th on the batting stats, a 467 batting average with 4 home runs and 9 RBIs.
Yeah, it's not just a matter of hitting the ball and getting yourself on the stats. It's what and when he does it, isn't it? And I mean, for him to feature on 3 or 4 of the stats means that he's moving bodies around the diamond. Cronk fires one in on that inside pitch, looking to squeeze up on the hands. Cole Evans a little bit too wily for that. He turns hard and swings that one and drives it hard down the third base for a foul.
It's actually the most interesting part of this game for me, to be honest with you, Gaz. We already talked about the go-to pitch for Marshall Cronk is the rise ball that tails into the right-hander. Mount Albert Ramblers will know that, and they'll be looking to adjust, and the only way to adjust to that is the hands inside the ball to drive it up the middle. Can Cole Evans do it?
This time he's driven it hard. It's gone deep over the centre field fence. It lands on the bank out there. An automatic home run to Cole Evans, who is jogging around the diamond there. Mount Albert Ramblers now lead this ball game 2-0. And how about that chopper?
Hands inside the ball. I guess he got it going on. And he gets a drop ball inside, and he just drops the barrel on it. And that baby is gone and out of here. Just like that in a blink of an eye. Ramblers double their score. 2-0 now.
Oh, there we go. I've been lucky with my colour commentators throughout the tournament who have been able to get their crystal balls out and tell everybody exactly what's going to happen. Cole Evans, almost as if you scripted it, fires one over the centre field fence. 2-0 to Mount Albert Ramblers now. They continue on. It's number 88, Lewis Gerard, who comes up, who's just as capable of doing what Cole Evans just did.
1 hour 25 batting out of an hour 30 practice.
That is exactly it. Marshall Cronk probably guilty of leaving that ball in the middle. And when you bat that much and you face literally thousands and thousands of balls in practice, you know when to go and when not to go. This time he cuts one on the inside corner of that plate. He'd love to have that picture, that one that he's as the one he threw against Cole Evans just a few minutes ago.
Come on, Marcy.
Lewis Gerard probably kicked himself for not getting that one out front. It was right in the middle of the zone.
Yeah, I think Cronk's happy that that one goes foul. He did make a mistake right there. But luckily, the pace was enough to create the off-hit.
2 balls, 2 strikes it is on Lewis Gerard. Mount Albert Ramblers 2-0 up now as we see that tailing rise ball on the inside. Again, another hitter who's capable of turning quickly on it and getting contact.
Yeah, no, we'll wait for it.
There's a good umpire there. We'll wait for that ball to come back. Doesn't want to throw in a freshie right here in the semi-final. Let the pitchers use one that's already in play.
Only takes another 20 seconds and we're back ready to go.
Talking about those practicing hitting, I had a chance to catch up with Brad Ronner many years ago about how did you become such a great hitter. Of course, Brad Ronner, arguably the best hitter to come out of New Zealand.
This time it's a change-up that Gerard deals with.
Well, Ronner, I should say, part of the company of the best hitter to come out of New Zealand. He said for him it was swings, lots and lots of them. Would even be swings in front of the mirror or the ranch slider. It'd work on your technique. You just can't get enough practice.
There we go. You young people out there listening, if you want to get better, and if you're using guys, and why not, like Brad Ronner as your heroes in the sport, practice, practice, practice. And if you think you've had enough, that means when you've got to go that extra yard, get out there and practice some more. Pitch from Marshall Cronk. It's on the outside of the plate. It strikes out Lewis Gerard. Only the first out here in the 4th innings. He's going to be replaced by Reese Evans. Dangerous times for Papanui Chopper. 2 runs is manageable, but in the context of this game, 3 and 4 runs starts to become a bit of a mountain.
Yeah, it does indeed. Cronk's a quality hurler, though. He'll know how to keep this one close.
Oh, here we go. He's launched a change-up out to left field, and it is Lubowiski who gets out there and makes the catch look easy as we see Reese Evans head to the dugout, the second out. Number 44, Bradley Bennett up to bat.
Again, that's that pitch that I hadn't seen before from Cronk. It was a change-up rise ball that he gets them out of the front foot.
Yeah.
Creates the weak flyer.
Change up from any of the pitchers throughout the tournament and any of you pitchers out there, it is a weapon. So if you're talking about practicing your batting and you're a pitcher, practice that change up as well. And there we see that one just turns Bradley Bennett to stone, and that was a drop change up this time. So we saw variation in the change from Marshall Cronk. Well, Cronk is recognised as well as Ant Stewart, who's doing the calling, the need to keep that variation going to these Mount Albert Ramblers batters. As soon as you start being a bit consistent with your spot, they make the adjustment, and we saw what happened with Cole Evans as we see a hard swing from Bradley Bennett on a pitch across the inside half of the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Top of the 4th innings, 2-0 to Ramblers. We're in the middle of this ball game. Chopper, the coach's mindsets will be very different now. Papanui, they're going to have to pull something out of the box of tricks to influence the scoreboard for them.
You did right, Gaz. We see that one foul off. These 2 teams are strong. We saw yesterday in that mammoth match, the final score on that one, 5 runs to 4. I do feel there might be a couple more runs, but I don't think we'll get 9 runs scored here in the semi-final this morning.
No, it's a bit tighter than that. Both teams, it's like a stare down, isn't it? And it just takes one team to blink for the other team to take advantage of it. It's what Mount Albert Ramblers have done, first with an error early in the ball game, and then with a solo shot over the centre field fence from Cole Evans. This time it's Bradley Bennett who looks at it, he pulls inside that one and he takes it on the body. And that is just simply a loss of control from Cronk, who recognises that.
Yeah, tough one. That's right on that back elbow. That's unprotected there. You can see him holding the arm. That stings all the way through the forearm after that. Very tough pitch to take on the arm for sure.
There you go. Bradley Bennett with two down now. Safe at first base. Safe and sore at first base.
To be fair, Gaz, he'll probably shake it off in 6 minutes. That was me. It's probably about 6 months.
If that was me, yes, I'd be in an ambulance on the way to Hutt Hospital right now. Crying my eyes out like a baby. That's why we're stood back here and watching these athletes go to work. There we go, up to bat number 2, Max Early, the catcher for Mount Albert Ramblers.
Ball out.
Mount Albert Ramblers just looking like their whole mindset and that is a little bit different from yesterday. I think the game face is just a little bit firmer set. The focus is just a little bit more in tune with what's going on out there, and yeah, definitely paying dividends for them in this ball game. This time he's launched one high. It's gone towards the outfield fence. A foul.
YMCA?
YMCA out there. YMCA and 4.5 fingers from Jeremy England out there. He's got one off at the second knuckle, so.
Gaz, you asked me a question a couple of pitches back about the coaches from both respective sides having different mindsets at this point of the game. You did right, Mount Albert Ramblers. They'll be looking to try and push their way, add more pressure and add to the scoreline. Papanui looking to hang on because they're waiting for someone inspirational offensively.
Yeah, the story for them will be bodies and bases and getting them moving. They haven't had that yet. Nick Hayes is beginning to apply the pressure on the mound. That pitch from Cronk called a ball. I think you might have got that from his body language. He didn't necessarily like the call.
He's like, I can hit that, Blue. If I can hit it, give me a strike as well.
There's that pitch that he likes to live on. It has yet to be successfully hit. That rising delivery that curves back in towards the hands, just as Chopper described it. We're now beginning to see it with regularity. This time the changeup has gone down. Too low. It allows the runner to scamper across the 2.
I'll tell you what, Gaz, this is a 100% pick right there. Bradley Bennett would have picked the change up, took off straight away on that pitch.
Safe at 2 for Mount Albert Ramblers now, in danger time for Papanui. This time he's turned on it. It is going down the third base line and is about 8 inches from being safe.
Gaz, just want to take a moment to thank our viewers watching these live pitches here from the Hutt Valley as we see a replay of this foul ball. It's always great to have you watching from all over Aotearoa, New Zealand, of course, around the world. Just want to say kia ora koutou. Hello and welcome into the broadcast today on behalf of Ballpark Broadcasting Atiawa Toa FM. This presentation of Softball New Zealand's New Zealand Men's Open Club National Championship.
Kia ora and welcome. There we see it is Max Early making sure that Marshall Cronk does not own the zone as he keeps fending the pitches off.
For those that are having the pleasure of watching broadcast from right here at Fraser Ballpark, it's in Hutt Valley, which is right in the centre of New Zealand, the bottom of the North Island, just next door to Wellington, the capital city, and that's where Fraser Park is hosted.
Yes, we're only about 3 or 4 kilometres from one of the most beautiful harbours in the world as Max Early watches that ball go over the top. He's earned himself a walk, and these Mount Albert Ramblers batters are now beginning to, as they see Marshall Cronk more than once, are beginning to pick the lines.
They are indeed. We talk about them not seeing anything outside the zone. Early does exactly that when he has the opportunity. They will send a runner out for him, but it'll be the 6th batter of the innings here in the top of the 4th to come up.
Yeah, so going 2/3 of the way through your lineup,
No, that's fine. That's fine.
you've got to be worried about the next couple of innings for Papanui unless Marshall Cronk can get better control going out there.
Right now is where Nathan Nukunuku ends his paycheck for sure, Gaz. The runners in the corners, they lead by 2 in a semi-final to get to the grand final. The strategy coming out of that huddle right there will be the key to winning this game.
Yes, the brains trust go to work. It's almost palpable.
Here we go.
It's almost palpable, the concentration going on from both teams.
On the flip side, you look at Papanui there, they're all leaders within that infield. Their leadership group is strong. They share the intelligence, they share the decision making, they win and lose together. Today, Papanui want to win.
You know, these two teams match up man for man, not just in ability, they match up in experience, and they match up very well. This time it's Cronk who gets ready to go again. But what's he going to do? He's going to fire one through the top of the zone for a strike, and that is the way to answer. We see the runner scamper across to 2. Runners at 2 and 3 now for Mount Albert Ramblers. 1 ball on the batter. There is Maddox Rice.
I like that variation of that defensive play from Papanui. They didn't fully execute it in the end. They saw the quick snap throw to third base, then shortstop's supposed to come into 2. Then Bartarella would throw it to 2 because the runner is stalled on their way to second base.
Yep.
So they can still get their runner out at 2. They've held the runner at 3. Nice play from Papanui. One I think I'll put into my own little coach's bag at some stage.
There we go. We talked about the brains trust getting together and working things out. Defensively, Papanui executing there. Maddox Rice going to work for Mount Albert Ramblers. And there's the rise ball that comes straight through is not quite up to Marshall Cronk standards. Normally he'll hit the top of the zone and look for a strike.
I think that's good about the Cronk monster. When his back is against the wall, he rears his ugly teeth and just goes.
And this time he reaches outside. It's coming down to the right. Field has taken the catch. Maddox Rice, the third out. Here in the 4th innings, which took us a while to get through. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th with the score at 2-0 to Mount Albert Ramblers. We'll be back. More action in just a minute.
Try a trade. Try welding, plumbing, carpentry. Try automated trade skills, material fabrication, electrical. Try painting. Try tiling. Try a trade. Starting this month, a 7-week program in partnership with Weldtech and Whitireia. Uncover your passion for a future career. Open to all ages. Register your interest today.
Well, there we go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for wherever in the world you happen to be watching, listening. Welcome along to what is becoming a very intense ball game, especially if you're a Papanui supporter. 2-0 down they are to Mount Albert Ramblers. Up to bat number 22, Jackson Watt. Jackson Watt, a big man with a mean stare. He watches that ball go across the middle of the plate. Worrying signs for Papanui as Nick Hayes is into his work and looking like he's on top of the Papanui batters at the moment. This time it's Watt who hits one out to second base. Couldn't get much more on that one. It was outside the plate for the first out here in the bottom of the 4th innings.
Yeah, no, he's looking good right now as Nick Hayes. And I don't want to draw similarities to Auckland v Canterbury in the NFC final 2 weeks ago with Hayes on the hill. Canterbury, they'd had a couple of injuries. One of the players missing that day was Tyrone Bartarella. They needed him. And he's in Papanui's team. He's back healthy. I think if anyone's going to get them going offensively, it will be Tyrone Bartarella. I want to give a quick shout out to a couple of big supporters for Papanui. Of course, our man Tony Smith down in Autotahi Christchurch is going to be calling the grand final with Joe Farizo there. That one coming up at 1 o'clock today. Ballpark Broadcasting NZ, you'll find that. Also, our man who just arrived here called Rugby last night, Will Micklejohn from Sky TV. He's a big Papanui supporter. Last one I want to shout out to is Brent Mulholland. Brent Mulholland and the ELE group, of course, are great supporters of softball for so many years. And for Papanui, Brent Mulholland, thank you for your support of the game of softball, mate. Hope you're doing well.
Number 46, Tyrone Bartarillo, multiple world champion with 2 countries, Australia and, of course, your Black Sox New Zealand team, and none more so than Bartarillo, capable of helping Papanui get out of the fire in this one as he swings hard at a rising pitch on the outside of the plate. Yes, I want to add my shout out to Smokin' Joe Farizo, the man who seems to just love a party.
Was he not excited?
He was excited. He's super excited. He's pumped. And I hope you enjoyed yourself at Tutabeni the other night. Joe, I know you do.
Well, we know how he likes Papanui Road. Des. I think he's the mayor of Papanui Road.
He's the mayor of Papanui Road, honorary Cantabrian. He loves it down there. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Bartarillo. He's gone hard at this one. It is a beautiful diving stop out there. Called safe. Nice running.
I'm not going to say on cue, but this is what Bartarillo does. He creates something, whether he hits it over the fence, but in this case, it's too hard to handle for Evans at second base, and his safety on board. Cooking something in the kitchen is Bartarillo.
Brock Evans it was who a sprawling save out there to stop the ball from going into the outfield. Couldn't affect the throw. Bartarillo safe. Up to bat is the hard-hitting Marshall Cronk.
Now, Gaz, I'm not an official scorer. Fitzy Flanagan is the official scorer on this one, but I'd call that a hit. Would have been an exceptional effort by Brock Evans to get that out.
Absolutely.
On the diving play.
100%.
First hit of the ball game released here from Nick Hayes.
There we go. It's taken 4 innings. But Papanui have a hit in the ball game. Runner on base. This is what they needed. They needed bodies on base. There's only one down. And Marshall Cronk up the bat. They're right in the meat of their order. He watches the pitch cut that inside edge of the plate, and Nick Hayes has is owning that inside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This time he goes to the other corner. It's a hard, nasty drop ball that deals with Marshall Cronk this time.
Look at this. Sorry, Gaz. Look at this drop ball. It's not about the location in this case. It's about the amount of movement. Nick Hayes has really got that thing spinning.
Yeah, he's got it on a string at the moment, and that just dropped out of existence and gave the batter no chance whatsoever. This time, it's a hard rise ball through the middle to the batter. Number 11, Mitchell Finney. With 2 down now, Papanui are going to have to get Bartarillo across to 2 soon. And Finney, who watches the strike go straight down that outside tram line.
How good has Mitchell Finney been the last few years, Gaz?
He's been absolutely huge for Canterbury softball. He's an athlete. He's quick. He can hit with power. One of the country's real up-and-comers.
Sure is indeed. Well dedicated. Drives up from Dunedin to attend trainings and games. Does Finney?
No.
Oh, double good then. He's from Otago.
3-1 now, 3-1.
Sure is. Otago led. The Jeffreys Cup plays for Otago against Canterbury.
3 balls, 1 strike. There's Nick Hayes going to work on Finney here. Swings at one through the zone and beats himself up for missing it because that was right in the middle of the zone, right in the meat of the hitting area.
For those who don't know where we broadcast from here at Fraser Ballpark, right behind home plate, that foul ball was coming right for my grill. I'd like to say I didn't flinch, but I'd be lying.
And this time it's Nick Hayes who cuts one across the outside corner of the plate, and Finney's got to watch himself talking to Hunt Brown like that.
Oh, Gaz, that is Tino Tata. Tino Tata, close on the outside edge, but close enough for the striker.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The score remains 2-0 to Mount Albert Ramblers, and we'll be back with more of that action in just a minute.
Your world, your color, your choice with Racine.
Back, ladies and gentlemen, to what has become an absolutely enthralling ball game. We're in the top of the fifth innings now, and it is Mount Albert Ramblers who really do have a little bit of pressure of the foot on the throat of Papanui, and exerting that pressure to the tune of 2-0. The pressure just builds. The score is still close, Chopper, so Papanui are by no means out of it, but the further we get towards the end of the ball game, that pressure just keeps mounting on them to erase that deficit.
It sure does indeed, and I think the MO doesn't change. Clark!
This time we see Clark dropping a bunt down the third base line, and that is absolutely inch perfect, as it's Bartarillo. Anyone in the world could have made that out.
Pitch on the outside edge, he pulls it across. Clever play by Clark. And you can see right there, he beats the throw on the Atiawa Toa FM super slow-mo.
Beautiful view of how safe he was. It was only inches in it, and our blue out there got that absolutely right. Frank Fargy it is. Oscar Clark safe at first base. They're into the top of their order. So danger signals again for Papanui with Brock Evans up to bat. Brock Evans, the tall left-hander, is also very quick around the bases. What would the odds be of them dropping something down in front of them again right now?
Yeah, I tell you what, guys, that last play by Oscar Clark there on screen, so we saw was a drop ball on the outside, so the defence, in that case are setting up for a ball to be bunted to the right side of the field. He reaches over and pulls it over to the left. That's why it gave him more time to get down to first base. That is clever batting right there from Mount Albert Ramblers.
That is excellence in execution. No balls, 2 strikes. Number 21, Brock Evans up to bat. Looks back at Marshall Cronk, who fires one high on the outside for a ball. Gets back into a more of an even count. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Brock Evans having an outstanding tournament, 9 RBIs throughout the week. He'd love to get his 10th right here.
And there's that outside corner. None of the batters are liking that call, but it has been called consistently for a strikeout. Brock Evans heads back to the dugout. He's going to be replaced by number 12, Nathan Nukanuk, who doesn't often go this long without making contact with the ball, so watch out for fireworks.
Big spot here.
This time he's launched one high. They're converging on it from all angles. It's come down. And Bartarillo, who unable to make the catch in foul territory.
Yeah, the Bartarillo's defence had to go a long way back over his shoulder to the fence there. And just can't quite get there in time. To be fair, I think a normal third baseman would even get close to it.
No. No, it takes it. An abnormal would just call him then. A third baseman. We'll call him an extraordinary third baseman who nearly affected that catch.
Gaz, I just want to say I'm a fan of Bartarillo before I say this next statement.
Oh, this time it's been fouled back, and it's the injury to the catcher. We'll just take a minute to wait and see what happens with him. Here's the replay there.
This is a tough play here. High one, trips off. And as you'll see, it'll catch him unprotected on the thigh. And it doesn't matter how tough you are. And Anthony Stewart is one of the toughest out there. That one stings for just a little.
That'll sting. He'll need a massage tonight to deal with that one.
Chopper, Gaz, to be fair, that looks like me after I've played like half a game of softball, let alone 5 days. I'm walking like that robot.
I think he's walking pretty normal for a catcher. Most of them will be sporting bruises on their thighs.
Gaz, I was going to say, I made a statement. I'm a fan of Bartarello before I say this next comment. And the comment was, I was talking to Anthony Stewart and I said to him, hey, Bud, are you the oldest in the team these days? He goes, nah, Bud, he's got me. And I look at Bartarello and goes, yeah, he's got more grey hairs.
We won't talk about who's got the most grey hairs, especially in the booth.
Two senior veterans, the third baseman, Bartarello, and Stewart behind the dish.
Two of the real leaders of the Papanui team going to work with Marshall Cronk out there on the diamond, and it is Nathan Nuku who swings hard for one that's going deep out to right field. The right fielder out there, Josh Glading, gets underneath it and does a fine job of getting the ball back in the air to prevent the run.
Well, I tell you what, Nuku just off this one. He knew the rise ball was coming. Turned the top hand on it and just couldn't connect the big part of the bat enough.
Well, with the runner out there now, you've got the home run hitter up from the previous innings, Cole Evans, number 34.
10 RBIs in the tournament. Now, Evans, 5 home runs, including the one he hit in the semi-final today.
He is bossing the batter's box in this tournament as the Black Sox captain, Cole Evans. There's the pitch. Takes it out to right field over the fence for a foul.
Oh, and Cole's not happy with himself on that last pitch. Thought it was one he should have handled a little better. We'll have to reset. And when we talked to him for his last home run and the pitch before it, how Mount Albert Ramblers need to make an adjustment. He showed it how to bring the hands inside. Of course, that's famous from the captain. There is only one captain, Derek Jeter from the Yankees. And, of course, this is the Black Sox captain's similar type of game. Hands inside the ball, drive away.
And the timing that he's got, you know, you can't coach timing like that. There we go, there's the steal. This time, safe.
I tell you what, not Brock Evans, apologies, Oscar Clark, as you'll see here on the replay, is so quick, he got there yesterday.
Yes, he got there comfortably ahead of the throw. And that is the second stolen base of the game. Very valuable once he gets on base. You can see why he's been their lead-off hitter all week up until today. But even then, when he's had the opportunity to lead them off, he's done the job, which is probably why he's been pushed back down to number 9, because often that is a lead-off hitter's description down there.
Just with the runner on 2 here, going to make sure we've got the signals down. 1 up, 2 down, 3 to change, 4 the dipper, 5 the sunset. Which one's the dying quail?
There's still no sign of nail polish on there out there. Coloured ribbons, anything they can do to get the pitcher to see a signal.
What's your favourite colour nail polish, Gaz?
Well, I don't have a favourite, but, you know, clear varnish normally. This time it's hit hard up the middle again from Cole Evans. It hits the fence on the full. It's going to score the runner. Evans is rounded 2, and he stands up comfortably at 3.
That's what the good players do. They adjust. He adjusts to the rise ball inside. Now that new pitch from Cronk, the change-up rise, keeps the hands back, punches it to centre field, and just like that, Mount Albert Ramblers lead 3-0 here in the semi-final.
Well, the little hill that Papanui had to climb has just become a mountain. We talked about how close these ball games would be. 3 runs in the context of a semi-final can be probably 10 runs, as we see Bartarello athletically taking one out there. It bounces in front of first base. He does an excellent job of gloving it for the 3rd out, but not before Cole Evans comes up and earns another RBI. It's 3-0 to Mount Albert Ramblers here in the 5th innings. We'll be back with more of that action in just a minute.
Try a trade. Try welding, plumbing, carpentry. Try automated trade skills, material fabrication, electrical. Try painting, try tiling. Try a trade. Starting this month, a 7-week program in partnership with Welltech and Whitireia. Uncover your passion for a future career. Open to all ages. Register your interest today.
Back, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you happen to be in the world watching this live coverage of the semi-final here at the 2024 National Open Club Championships in the Hutt Valley, deep in the heart of the North Island here in New Zealand. And we've got Papanui taking on Mount Albert Ramblers.
Well, Diamond 2 action going on too. Two North Harbour teams, Roosters and White there, and my club, Northcote. Maybe not having one of the club nationals that they'd like to remember, but they're playing on the final day there, I believe, for 9th place. Congratulations to them. Also,
Congratulations. I don't know if they want to hear that.
Okay, all right, I'm going to get over it. I'm over it already.
Right, there we go. The game in front of us as we see number 47. It is for, I'll just get myself on the right page, Callum Bishop going to work for Papanui.
Okay, I just want to give a little shout out, and you might have seen on the corner of the shot there, the lift that we use for our camera at first base. We have another one at third. As you can see there, Joe Harris, she's putting, there's the lift chopper there, the blue one. Yeah, I want to give a shout out to the Central Group. Thank you for your sponsorship of Hutt Valley Softball, providing not just the lifts for our camera operators. And kia ora, boys, give us a wave up there, Kerry out there. There
Terry
they are.
Fitzgerald, good to see you, mate.
But also they do forklifts, they do golf carts, you name it. Thank you so much for your support of softball to the Central Group High.
Well, there we go. It's 3-0, Chopper, and to my mind, there's two people bossing this ball game. Offensively, of course, Cole Evans, who, as you mentioned off air, probably won't get another hit in this ball game because they won't let him. And, of course, defensively, it is Nick Hayes who's really turning the screws on the Papanui batters.
7 strikeouts on the day for Hayes now.
Josh Dixon it is, who is taken out at first base by the Ramblers defence for the second out here, and he'll be replaced by number 10, Ant Stewart.
And Stewart still once in that inside thigh, and you look at Hayes there, look how calm he is, communicating with his battery mate early behind the dish, just locked in right now, isn't he?
That is an absolute poker face out there right now. He's not showing any emotion whatsoever, and yes, is radiating calmness as he fires another one through the zone.
Ant Stewart was a young fella. And I'm not saying he's not a young fella anymore. Gas, please don't throw me under the bus. But he used to play third base. He'd have this play, be a running bunt from the other team. He would run down third base, pick up the ball, and throw it on a dive horizontal to first base. It was so cool to watch.
Wonder if he was a halfback when he was playing footy, if he was playing footy. There we go. Nick Hayes rears back and fires another one. I first came across Ant Stewart in an under-17 tournament down in Invercargill, so that's how long ago that was. I was watching my son play in an under-17 tournament as we see the Falcons out there getting ready to go for their game.
I tell you what, if we get another shot of that, there's a real big, important person in the middle of that Falcons lineup. Great to see them. They're only their second in club nationals, number 21, the big guy. That is Brad Lorna that we talked about, the Black Sox superstar. Of course, played his career with Northcote, but he's been helping out Franklin's for the last 3 or 4 years to build them up to what they're doing right now.
And what I was going to finish with in that statement is my son's now 35, so that was an under-17 tournament, so you can draw from that what you want about how old Ant Stewart is. There we go, and it's 3 down, and that happened in the blink of an eye. And we have now 5 innings complete. Mount Albert Ramblers 3-0 over Papanui. We'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. There we have the Avalon Rugby Football Club sign, the famous club here at Fraser Park. That's their home ground as well as the home ground for Hutt Valley softball.
You're just trying to make Damien Collins happy, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm always trying to make Damien happy. Mind you, he doesn't need any help with that. He's a happy chap.
He is indeed. Damien Collins will be joining the crew. He's been off gallivanting with the Totara Park Club and their debut presence at the Club Nationals for such a long time, since the early 90s, Totara Park.
1990, I think, their last appearance.
I told him last night, righto boy, back to work, so he'll be ground announcing the grand final.
Nice one. There we go, and it's Papanui. Everything ahead of them. They're going to have to keep the bats quiet once again from Mount Albert Ramblers as number 28, Rhys Evans, comes up to swing the bat. Marshall Cronk continues to go to work for Papanui. He hasn't pitched poorly, but it's just that the ones he has put in the middle on 2 occasions in particular have cost him dearly.
That's so good. I love it when we do that sometimes as commentators. He hasn't pitched poorly. The first one's a frisbee to the screen.
I think he did that because he heard me, because he's out there smiling at us.
Actually, in saying that, I've heard at some stage we've got to get Cronk in the booth. He's quite the character.
Oh, good. I'd look forward to that. There we go. This time it's the low lifter through the middle of the zone from Cronk.
Just see on screen their defensive change for Papanui at third base. Callum Muir into the ball game for Tyrone Barterell.
Well, Barty has been throwing himself around out there like a teenager, so he's probably earned the rest.
2 elite third basemen in the country. You see Mitchell Finney, he'll stay there at second base. Looks like he's got a Puerto Rican infielder's glove too, doesn't he?
At second base there. Looks very small on his hand.
It does indeed.
Right, there we go. This time it is Rhys Evans who heads to the dugout as the strikeout, and it'll bring number 44, Bradley Bennett, into bat for Mount Albert Ramblers.
Bennett's had a good day and a bad day at the plate. First at bat, he drives in a run, or a run comes in while he's batting. Strikeouts though. Second at bat, he gets plugged. So a good and a bad day.
Well, he's got the triumvirate so far. He'll be interested to see what he comes up when he gets another opportunity later in the ball game. But for right now, it is Bradley Bennett going to work, staring back out at Marshall Cronk, who continues to ply his trade against Mount Albert Ramblers. This time it's the rising pitch on the inside again, and Mount Albert Ramblers seem to have made the adjustment because they are all turning early on that pitch. And it's still a hard pitch to hit. That one goes hard over the third base fence. Must have come close to our cameraman up there.
Manning third base on that camera shot you see right now on screen is Totara Park's president, Duncan, just joining the crew this week. Reach out, says, Chopper, would you like some help? You know what? I love help. So, Duncan Stokes, thank you so much for joining the Ballpark Broadcasting and Atiawa Toa FM crew.
There we go. Marshall Cronk pulls the strings on that one. It's a drop ball on the outside with a change of pace. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Bradley Bennett as he takes him deep into account. He turns on another one of those rising inside pitches and hits it down the third base foul line.
Mount Albert Ramblers 4 hits on the day to Papanui's 1 so far here in the semi.
That is an excellent result from 4 hits to have 3 earned runs. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Ball down.
This time a little bit low on that dropping change-up. You see him use the rise ball change-up. Well, in the last 4 pitches, we've seen him use the drop ball change. This time it's the walk that is picked by Bradley Bennett. Gets himself to first base. There's only 1 down. Bringing to bat, number 2, Max Early.
We talked about that earlier, didn't we, about making sure they don't still get strikes. Third walk that the Mount Albert Ramblers batters have patiently waited out.
Yes, they're taking Cronk deep into counts on with regularity. They've managed to work on that pitch that Marshall Cronk was going to, and are now getting connection, even if it is foul. It's helping them just see a lot more of the pitching of Marshall Cronk. That one sails through the middle of the zone. Max Early has a good look at it. But that alone there, Chopper, that signals the batter's intentions and that he just stayed off it completely. This time, watches a very good pitch on the inside of the plate for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Things are heating up here at Fraser Park. The sun is out. Temperatures are rising. The softball is brilliant. Two balls, 2 strikes. This time it is Max Early taking Marshall Cronk, and we see the steal is on. The throw is high.
3-2 count.
And the slide is low.
Third stolen base today from Mount Albert Ramblers Gas. Not going on first pitch or second pitch, just waiting for the right time. 2 today for Bradley Bennett.
2 for him, and I think we've had 2 from Oscar Clark. So they've identified an ability to get to the base before the throw gets there. There we go. This time it is Muir at third base, who fires it across. It's gone too far. It's going to score the run. And for the second time in this ball game, a fielding error has cost them.
Regulation play here. You see Cronk hits his spot, creates the weak ground ball. Muir picks it up, doesn't check the runner. That allows him to head towards third base. And then, unfortunately for Bishop, he airmails it. And Mount Albert Ramblers will run on their 4th run of the ball game here in the semi-final.
Well, that just underlines that even vastly experienced players, because Muir himself is an experienced man, should have checked that runner at 2 before he fired the runner out at 1. And then Cullen Bishop, another one of the experienced infielders for Papanui, compounds the error by airmailing a shot all the way to the fence.
Pinch hitter coming in here, Gaz, for Maddox Rice. It'll be number 4, Ryan Early.
Ryan Early competes the Early brothers come in and take part in this ball game. Sees the pitch go through the inside corner of the plate for a strike.
Just a little bit of time here taken as we see Stewart head on out to have a chat to his infield.
And Marshall Cronk and Nathan Nuku sharing a joke together out there. Good to see that there's still a bit of humour going on between the 2 teams. Fierce competitors during the game, of course. It's Papanui who are going to have to shake something loose, because we're in the 6th innings. 4-0 down. We're coming up to the bottom of the 6th where they'll get an opportunity. And that'll be one of 2 opportunities in the 6th and 7th innings that they'll have to get back in this ball game and stay in this tournament. The running has all been made by Ramblers at the moment. They've taken advantage of 2 errors to score the first run of the ball game, as well as now the 4th run of the ball game. Ryan Early it is. He's come in for a pinch hit and is just continuing with the trend, or with the tactic, of taking Marshall Cronk deep into counts. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. It's an airmail out in the right field. We got fielders converging from all directions, and a lovely diving catch out there by Josh Glading. who gets the job done and will get himself on the highlight reel.
Well, that's top shower for long way to go for Gladding. As you can see them converging on the right side of the screen. They're off to the races as early. Casey drops it, but on his back, he makes the catch for Papanui to keep this one at 4.
4-0 it is. And it is now up to Papanui to climb a mountain. We'll find out what happens when we come back in just a minute.
Your world, your color, your choice with Racine.
Everybody from around the world, as we are enjoying a very fine game of softball semi-final time here at the 2024 National Club Champions, as we see number 17, Caleb Stewart, launch one down the right field. Foul territory.
3 years ago, Caleb Stewart here was of an outstanding tournament. I think very early on in the grand final against Mount Amber Ramblers, gets one come off the toe, breaks his toe, and he's out for the rest of the grand final. So a chance for him now to shine here on his trying to find a way for Papanui to get to that grand final.
Well, we talk about what coaches need to do. Well, there's not a lot they can do until their batters execute and they get themselves on base. Once they do that, then all of a sudden the coach has got options and things to work with. At the moment, though, it is Nick Hayes who rears back, fires a pitch just on the outside for a ball, who has his foot firmly on the throat of the Papanui batters. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's Nick Hayes who shakes off Max early, says, that's not the pitch I want. There's the one I want, as he strikes out Caleb Stewart this time for the first out here in the bottom of the 6th innings. And 6 turns at bat become 5 as far as their opportunities to impact the scoreboard. Josh Lubowiski up to bat, number 77.
10 strikeouts on the day for Nick Hayes from Mount Albert Ramblers.
And there's a nasty drop ball on the inside half of the plate. Gets Lubowiski swinging.
Of course, that big game yesterday, 11 innings against Papanui, 5 runs to 4. Mount Albert Ramblers win that game. One of the big differences in that game, Nick Hayes didn't even play.
In the game, in the 11-inning game, he pitched the whole game.
Oh, he pitched the whole game. My bad. Right. It was the other game, of course, with no Nick Hayes. My apologies. That's PCU. That's for the final if they get against
the PCU waiting for them in the final, ladies and gentlemen. Chopper doesn't often make mistakes like that, but it got me flummoxed for a second, so my apologies there. I'm going to remember the call on that game for a long time. Nick Hayes was an absolute giant in that game. He pitched all 11 innings.
Stayed steady. He's got the armband on. Today, you said it was a pitching arm. Willing to throw them all.
Well, could be forgiven for being a bit sore as he fires one high inside to Josh Lubowiski. He's a dangerous batter. Definitely capable of leading off Papanui, but also capable of launching it over the fence. Hayes has given them nothing to settle on. He's got go-to pitches, but he's working all round the zone. A lot of support around the ground. Spectators here at the ground for the semi-final. Of course, Parkland's Christchurch United lay in wait for whichever of the teams ends up playing in that grand final as Lubowiski strikes out for the 11th strikeout in the match
I
for Nick Hayes.
Don't think he'll be the only one. That's the Hutt for Lube Whiskey. 3 strikeouts on the day.
This time he's Jackson Watt, who's flied one out, and Nick Hayes gets a reprieve with 1 pitch and 1 out for the 3rd out here in the 6th innings. That is a 6 complete. We'll head to the 7th innings. Mount Albert Ramblers up to bat. We'll be back in just a minute.
When the radio's on and the sound is hot, you just have to enjoy. There's no way to stop. That's where it sounds like the best every day of the week. Better than all the rest. We let the music speak. All the best throwbacks, 90s and more. Atiawa Toa. All the best throwbacks.
Jeremy England out there enjoying the sunshine here on Diamond 1 at Fraser Park. We have Jackson Watt coming in to relieve Marshall Cronk for what may be the final throw of the dice for them. 7th innings action here between Papanui and Mount Albert Ramblers, who lead the ball game by 4-0 over Papanui.
They'll be taking on the PCU Devils in the centre field there, getting ready for the grand final. That one's scheduled for 1:30 p.m. A pitching change for Papanui. Marshall Cronk goes through the first 6 innings of work, and he did really well too. Gave up only the 4 hits for the 4 runs that have been scored here in the grand final. He did pick up 5 strikeouts in his work. We'll hand it over now to the big left-hander, that is Jackson Watt.
Jackson Watt, who was absolutely huge for Papanui in that heartbreaking loss to Mount Albert Ramblers yesterday. Such an important player for these guys, and he's come in to do the pitching. Hard-throwing left-hander. There he is with the first pitch. It's a strike on the outside of the plate for number 33, Oscar Clark. Got them going in the previous innings. And looking to do it again now is Mount Albert Ramblers will be looking for insurance.
Yeah, dangerous table setter is Oscar Clark, that's for sure. First time seeing Jacko, though. On the left side, a little something different.
This time he's launched one high, and it's going, and they've given up early because he's thrown it over the fence for an automatic home run. And there's the insurance we talked about. 5 runs to 0 now. It's Mount Albert Ramblers over Papanui as Oscar Clark hits a home run.
Wow, Oscar Clark. The rise of this kid in the last couple of months has been simply outstanding. Doesn't miss the offering here from Watt and Papanui, and puts an exclamation mark. Insurance time for Mount Albert Ramblers, 5-0.
Well, there's going to be... Oh, and there's a hit pitch. This time it is Jackson Watt sending Brock Evans, hopefully not to the emergency room, but to first base. They're tough, these softballers. We need to shake that one off. Just give them a moment to do that.
Yeah. Touch them up and then walk them off.
Oh, there we go. He deserves some applause for that one because he got that square on the back.
Yeah, a bit of humour there from Nathan Nukunuku. It's probably because, it wasn't me.
Yeah,
Brock Evans is feeling that one for sure. He hit to the dugout for the designated runner, Blake Wardrobe.
There we go. Brock Evans takes one for the team and gets himself out to first base. It is Nathan Nukunuku who comes up to bat, staring back at Jackson Watt.
Yeah, we got him. Thank you. Nice, good looking out. Thank you.
On the mound for Papanui, 5-0. You don't call anything impossible in our sport, but 5-0 against Mount Albert Ramblers in this situation. It is Nathan Nukunuku drops what is possibly the perfect bunt down the third base line.
That's a nuku for you while all the jokes and laughter's going on. And what are we doing? What are we doing? Well, what he's doing, he's thinking about the next insurance run.
Getting on with this ball game, which he does in fine fashion. You've got none down. You've already got a solo shot in the book. And Nathan Nuku out at first base. And who comes up to bat?
Yeah, sorry, my apologies.
Cole Evans.
Yeah, super dangerous time here for Papanui, obviously. Cole Evans has simply been on fire. We mentioned earlier after his last hit. He won't get another at-bat, but with 2 runners on, no outs, they have no choice.
Oh, and he's dropped one into the dirt as Jackson Watt, who turns and shovels it to first base. Cole Evans moves the runners, and even when he's going out, he's improving the ball game for his side. Runners now at 2 and 3.
A little excuse me swing there from Evans. And Jacko says, I'll take that. Spins around, makes the move. Looks a bit like Clayton Kershaw on the hill. Talking about Kershaw, the Dodgers. LA Dodgers are stacked this season. Otani, Yamata. Man, I tell you what, if they don't win the World Series this year with that lineup, they don't deserve to win a World Series.
You heard it. He's pretty good at predicting what's going to happen, so go and put your money on the Dodgers. There we go. This time it's Gerard who hits one up the middle. The field is made. The runner has scored. And Ramblers are doing it now in clinical fashion.
Yeah, tough play here for Mitchell Finney. He kind of had to wait behind the runner to grab it. No chance to come home. Wardrobe will waltz in as the second out is taken. And you're dead right here. Ramblers marching their way to the grand final for sure.
Number 28, Reese Evans.
All down.
In terms of just the feeling that you get from you know, just observing Ramblers, they just look like they'd gone up a level today after yesterday's loss. They must have had an important team meeting last night, talked about what was needed to get done today. They've put it all into effect, put it all into practice.
Well, one of the things that's changed here, we mentioned Brock Evans elevated to the top of the order. Nathan Nuku injected into the lineup full time now as a designated player. That makes a big difference to your lineup.
Makes a huge difference. And moving Oscar Clark down to that 9 spot and seeing the production he's managed to get for them after leading off for them for 4 of the 5 days.
Yeah.
It actually seems to me like it strengthened them. This time it's a hit straight out to the centre field fence, and the runners are coming across home plate with regularity now as another run is added to the scorebook, 7-0. It's Reese Evans helps himself out to another safe hit.
A good pitch here, low in the zone from Watts. The offering, just the hands, the composure from Evans, dispatching that to centre field. And to be fair, a bit of a shame here because this has been a good semi-final up until the 7th innings now.
It has. It has been a tight affair. We spent 5 innings where it was finished at 4-0. But for most of that 5 innings, it was 2-0. Papanui were in it all the way. The big roadblock, I suppose, if you want to call it, has been their inability to get onto Nick Hayes, who has bossed things out there in the middle on defence for Ramblers. They'll get one more opportunity, though. No balls, 2 strikes. And our games are not over until that last pitch is thrown. This time, Watt gets the job done on Bradley Bennett, strikes him out for the 3rd out here in the top of the 7th innings. It's all but over with 3 outs needed by Mount Albert Ramblers.
The decisions we make matter. The cloth you put on your back, that comes from somewhere. Ours is Ecotech, and it comes from here. One of these equals 38 of these, not in landfill. High performance fabric worthy of what you stand for.
back, ladies and gentlemen, to Fraser Park, Sportsville. There's a lovely picture of the Rico Sports Centre out there on a day that is absolutely sparkling. We got a light breeze here at Fraser Park, but we've got a Ramblers team who are now all over Papanui, who've got one more go at doing something to stay in this tournament.
Well, Ramblers have been clinical today, to be fair. Second innings, Bradley Bennett drives in a run. That's their first one of the day. Then the fourth and the fifth and the sixth, they score 1 run each, does Mount Albert Ramblers. And then the exclamation mark in the seventh innings, 2 runs scored. That gives us a scoreline now, 7 runs to nil. Can Papanui come back?
This time, Callum Muir takes it out to right field. It's comfortably taken out there by Oscar Clark, who has been one of the stars for Mount Albert Ramblers. Granted, that's on a day that has been full of star performances for them. That'll bring to bat number 7, Marshall Cronk. 1 down.
Flip side, defensively for Mount Albert Ramblers, 11 strikeouts on the day from Nick Hayes. And just the 1 hit surrendered, that was Tyron Bartarello, who was just pinch hit for by Callum Muir.
Marshall Cronk, we know what he's capable of in the batter's box. He would earn a spot in most teams, club-wise, representative-wise, and internationally, as a batter. Nick Hayes it is, though, who's going to work on them, and who has done now in 7 innings of work, as he's busting into his 7th inning of work now, with a beautiful curving pitch on the outside of the plate for a strike. He looks as fresh now in the 7th innings as he did in the 1st innings. Pulls a string on one, but this time it's Cronk who's up to the challenge. And it's a moonshot out to centre field for Maddox Rice to catch. And one more nail, or possibly the last nail of the coffin. There we see the big wide grin on Nick Hayes' face. He didn't bother looking at where that ball was going. He knew he'd got Cronk to fly that one into centre field. This time it is 1 swing, 1 pitch. They're converging on it, and it is Maddox Rice who takes the catch to end this ball game. Mount Albert Ramblers, who head to the grand final, where lying in wait for them is Parkland's Christchurch United. Gallant in defeat, it is Papanui who exit the tournament. Mount Albert Ramblers now march on and are looking in top form. Chopper, how did you see the ball game?
Oh, outstanding game in the end, commanded and controlled by Mount Albert Ramblers. Papanui in it for such a long period of time. Up until about the 5th, if you ask me, was 3 runs to nil. They needed to convert some runs. They couldn't quite get it over the line for a big reason. Nick Hayes just too good today. 11 strikeouts, only surrendering the 1 hit through 7 innings of work. I know you're about to ask me who the Ballpark Broadcasting Player of the Match. Of course, Nick Hayes is an option for that. And Cole Evans, offensively, he got Ramblers started. The home run in the 4th innings, the RBI triple in the 6th innings. He was the man of the moment for me, Cole Evans, and therefore is the Ballpark Broadcasting Player of the Match for the semi-final.
Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it right here. Cole Evans absolutely outstanding in getting his team going in this one, especially early on. They nailed it shut in the 7th innings. They march on to the grand final. So don't you go anywhere, because that grand final is coming right at you at 1:30 p.m. this afternoon, New Zealand time. You want to be right here, because that is sure to be an absolute thrilling game between Mount Albert Ramblers, Parkland's Christchurch United. But for us here in the booth, Gary Rohihi, Jason Gerbes, aka Chopper, and all the rest of the team that bring you our beautiful live pictures will be back very shortly.